This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danish Kamadewala and read by Niranjan Abesundara. Crop damages of the Yala season exceed 46,000 acres. Mr. Mindam Ravira has informed Agriculture Department to submit a report regarding the big onion cultivation in the country. Exam chief expresses hope to release A-level results by the end of this month. Department of Wildlife Conservation requests the general public to use 1922 hotline to inform animal hunters. Central Bank issuing reduced amount of currency notes and coins for past few years. World news, authorities warn the Hurricane Hilary floods could threaten U.S. lives. In sports news, Mbappe scores as PSG held on his return attribution. Agricultural and Agrarian Insurance Boards say the crop damages of the Yala season is more than 46,000 acres. The damages caused mainly due to dry weather conditions prevailing in the country. The Agriculture and Agrarian Insurance Board has now completed the work of providing 637 million rupees as compensation after examining the reported facts relating to the damage caused by the fall arm worm to maize cultivations and the damage to the paddy cultivation in the country during the 2021 Maha season. Minister Mindam Ravira has informed the Agriculture Department to submit a report regarding the big onion cultivation in the country. Big onion cultivation in the country is not successful. It is a very successful crop several years ago. Many farmers have stopped farming big onion due to this failure. Annual requirement of big onion is 300,000 metric tons. But there are only 4,716 metric tons of big onion harvested from Sri Lankan lands this year. During this season, the country has to import big onions to fulfill the requirement. The minister has instructed officials to cope with this issue and to take necessary action to increase the bower onion cultivation in the country. Commissioner General Examinations Amit Jayasundar expresses hope that the department would be able to release the results of the GCE Advanced Examination by the end of this month. The process is now almost completed. The first phase of the paper marking activities of GCE All-Level Examination has commenced last week. It will be held until next Sunday. Department examinations say that applications will be accepted for the paper marking activities of Grade 5 Script Examination until the 1st of next month. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The Department of Wildlife Conservation requests general public to inform authorities regarding the poachers who hunt the animals who come to find water during the dry weather season. The department has received information in this regard. General public are requested to use 1922 hotline to inform such activities. Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media Dr. Bandar Gunabhadra said, Currency Department of Central Bank of Sri Lanka has reduced the amount of coins and notes issued for annual circulation by nearly 50% compared to 2018. According to the Monetary Act of Sri Lanka, Central Bank has the sole authority to issue currency notes and coins to the country's people, the minister said. The minister said that this constitutional responsibility assigned to the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka is fulfilled by its Currency Department. Dr. Gunabhadra was addressing a meeting with entrepreneurs engaged in the tourism industry at the Heritage Hotel, Negombo, recently. And that was local news.
Listen, no fake news, false flags, it is the real thing. Breaking records, making history, you know we got the big bling. 10 billion bonus all across the island. Ka-ching! Not millions, talking billions, yeah, it is the big win.
History's highest ever short bonus declaration for SLIC life policyholders in 2022 exceeds 10 billion rupees.
10 billion bonus gonna make your dreams come true. 10 billion bonus for you.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Sri Lanka Railways will operate a number of special trains in view of the Kandy Asala Festival from August 26th to the 30th. Accordingly, a special train will leave Colombo Fort Railway Station to Kandy at 9:30 am on the 26th to the 30th of this month. The same train will leave for Colombo Fort from Kandy Railway Station at 12 midnight. A luxury train will also leave for Kandy from Colombo Fort on 26th, 27th and 30th at 6:30 p.m. Special trains will be in operation between Kandy and Matale from 26th to the 30th of this month. A train leaves from Matale from Kandy at 1:20 p.m. and the same train will leave for Kandy at 3:30 p.m. It will again leave for Matale from Kandy at 11:30 p.m. Railway departments say special trains will also ply between Kandy and Navadvitia from 26th to the 30th of this month in view of the Kandy Asala Festival. Accordingly, special trains will operate to Navadvitia from Kandy at 11:40 p.m.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Authorities investigating the fire that erupted in two factories, including a chemical storage plant at the Homagama Katuana industrial zone, are using residents in the area to use the water sources with utmost caution, since there is a danger of chemical particles from the plants entering the water streams in the area. They also advise residents to wear face masks, as the toxic fumes may spread over the area from the fire. Southern Environment Authority and the National Building Research Organization officials said this after starting investigations into the fire that broke out on Thursday night in a factory that imports chemical liquid and distributes them in the country.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
On to world news. Authorities warn that Hurricane Hillary floods could threaten U.S. lives. Now shooting Mars election campaign in Ecuador. Britney Spears breaks silence on Sam Asghari split. Hurricane Hillary, heading for Mexico's Pacific coast, has weakened but can cause life-threatening flooding, U.S. meteorologists have warned. With winds up to 170 kilometers per hour, it is now a Category 2 storm, National Hurricane Center says. Hillary is due to make landfall later on Saturday U.S. time. NSC is already reporting heavy rain in parts of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula and the southwest. U.S. Hillary will weaken to a tropical storm before it reaches Southern California. It will be the first tropical storm to hit the U.S. state in more than 8 years. Hillary appears to be weakening quickly, John Cantico said, a senior hurricane specialist. It is quoted saying that the Associated News Agency on Saturday. Hillary was earlier a powerful Category 3 storm with the winds up to 209 kilometers per hour. A candidate in Sunday's presidential election in violence-hit Ecuador has called for an investigation after shooting erupted near a restaurant where he was having breakfast. Otto Stadtholzer, a conservative politician, was with his family and supporters when shots rang out. He is not believed to have been in target, but the campaign has been marred by a surge in gang attacks. Candidate Fernando Valpecito was assassinated in the capital last week. Incident involving Mr. Summenholzner, 40, occurred on Saturday in Ecuador's largest city, Guayaquil. A video posted on social media shows the former vice president talking to supporters in the restaurant before shots are heard, sowing panic. Local journalists said there was robbery in the vicinity. Britney Spears has spoken for the first time since her husband Sam Asghari announced their split, saying she couldn't take the pain anymore. Mr. Asghari, 29, started incremental differences in the divorce petition filed in Los Angeles on Wednesday. He asked the spousal support and payment of legal fees to be paid to Mrs. Spears, the documents state. Spears, 41, said she was a little shocked that her 6-year-old relationship with Mr. Asghari had come to an end. Spears said she would be as strong as I can, and she was actually doing pretty well.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities from Desha Sri Lanka in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, including company housemaid, salary 156,000 rupees, 23 to 57 years. Contact 037 7500 500.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena held a meeting with Vietnamese Vice President Tran Liu Quang on the sidelines of the 7th China-South Asia Expo in Kunming, Yunnan Province in China recently. Vietnamese Vice President acceded to the request made by the Prime Minister to explore possibility of new areas of trade and investment in addition to the current joint ventures in the public and private sectors. He said Vietnam has undertaken massive development projects and there would be employment opportunities for professionals and skilled Sri Lankan workers. The Prime Minister discussed with the Vietnamese Vice President about expanding cooperation in agriculture with special focus on rubber, coconut and tea, and fisheries, alternative energy and mining. That was Development News.
Job opportunities for women from Desha Sri Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Company housemaids, caretakers and home cooks in Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can now travel overseas free of charge. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500. Desha Sri Lanka Foreign Development Agency.
On sports news, Kylian Mbappe scored a penalty on his Paris Saint-Germain return as they were able to a frustrating draw at Toulouse in Ligue 1. France captain Mbappe, 24, put a reigning champions PSG ahead just 11 minutes after coming on as a substitute. He had been reintroduced to Luis Enrique's squad after a lengthy contract standoff over summer. However, Morocco forward Zakaria Abdulkal levelled for the hosts late on also from the penalty shot. England midfielder Jude Bellingham scored twice as Real Madrid came from behind to maintain the 100% start in the La Liga with a victory at Almeria. Bellingham, 20, has now scored 3 goals in the opening 2 Spanish top-flight matches since joining Real from Borussia Dortmund this summer. That was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Pradhan Wickremesinghe has directed officials to accelerate efforts to attract 5 million tourists a year, calling for the establishment of an investment infrastructure corporation, decision-making council and regional communities under provincial tourism boards. President Media Division said Wickremesinghe had issued this instruction to a committee of tourism officials at a meeting held on Wednesday, August 16th. The committee tasked assessing the progress of Sri Lanka's tourism industry enhancement program and proposing measures to establish the country as a prominent tourism destination. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news. Sri Lankan Minister Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara on Saturday held a discussion with the Managing Director of Surana Solar Company of India on exploring the possibility of to manufacture the solar panels needed for renewable power generation within the country. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara said with Narendra Surana, Managing Director of Surana Solar Company of India, recently visited Sri Lanka and held discussions with the President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Following the discussion with the President, the Managing Director has held preliminary discussions with Minister of Kanchana Wijesekara at the Ministry of Saturday on investing in renewable energy projects in Sri Lanka.
Weather Report.
Except for a few showers in the western Sabaragawa provinces and in the Golemathura districts, mainly fair weather will prevail in most parts of the island. Fairly strong winds up to 40 km/h can be expected at the west times the western slope of the central hills, northern and north central and northwestern provinces, and the Trincomalee, Hambantota and Hamanagara districts. That was the weather report, and back to the headlines of the news. Crop damages of the Yara season exceed 46,000 acres. Mr. Mahinda Amravira has informed the Agriculture Department to submit a report regarding the big onion cultivation in the country. Exam chief expresses the hope to release A-level results by the end of this month. Department of Wildlife Conservation requests the general public to use 1922 hotline to inform animal hunters. Central Bank is issuing reduced amount of currency notes and coins for the past few years. In world news, authorities warned that Hurricane Hilary floods could threaten the US lives. And in sports news, Mbappe scores as PSG held on his return attribution. With that, we end afternoon news broadcast. You're tuned to Radio Sri Lanka.